message. Get the 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 message. Get.
There are many ways to send messages, but in order to have communication, there must be a receiver. This ability to communicate, to get the message, makes life the way we know it possible. Long before man had words, he lived in caves. A defenseless animal, afraid to come out. Bigger. Faster. And much more fierce. But fortunately, man was the thinking animal. So we can imagine how he overcame this problem. He must have reasoned, if man is to survive, he's got to work together. But first the problem was to communicate. He tried gestures and expressions. This worked great on simple messages. Then he made a big discovery. Not every message was simple. There had to be a better way. It was like living in the dark. No one knows how or when it happened, but one day, man said his first word. Ugh. All we know is he hasn't stopped talking since. Ugh. Once man began to communicate, he began to congregate. And cooperate. And as he became more civilized, man felt the need to send messages far away. He tried many methods, like smoke signals. Swell idea, when the wind was in the right direction. He beat drums and waited for a distant answer. Of course, he couldn't compete with thunder. At night, he lit torches. But with unpredictable results. He made long-distance calls. Oops, the line went dead. Of course, some messages were received. But memories were often bad. Or was it? So ideas were lost. Man needed a way to hang on to a message, or he'd never progress. But again, man used his head and used his hand to draw. He made a storehouse of his knowledge out of his wall. first, it was just primitive pictures of things man knew and experienced. This was fine, but he still couldn't record his ideas, feelings, and emotions. Things he couldn't see. As time went on, he made attempts to string his pictures together. This was another step forward, but it was much too complicated. So man tried to simplify. In ancient China, sun, tiger, rain, and mountain came to look like this. Just symbols. About the same time, in Sumeria, pictures were changing to wedge-shaped symbols called cuneiform writing. And in Egypt, hieroglyphics were changing too. The drawing of an ox became a symbol for an ox. House became this. Camel, this, and so on. But there were thousands of symbols, still too complicated and difficult to learn. Then the Phoenicians came up with a remarkable invention, the alphabet. The symbols now represented sounds. Writing had become a secret code. The symbol for ox became the first letter, house the second. Others, like camel and door, also became letters, until they had 22. For the first time, writing was easy to learn. But there were no vowels. The ancient Greeks added these and simplified even more. And from their first two letters, alpha, beta, they gave the alphabet its name. The Romans redesigned the letters until they looked just like the capitals in use today. And except for a few slight changes as the years went by, this was the modern alphabet. It took man 20,000 years, but it was worth it. Only 26 letters for all the words he'd ever want. At last, man had a simple way to record his ideas, but he still had problems. No paper. Parchment was hard to get, and it took much too long to write a book. So books were very expensive. No wonder they were chained down. There must be an easier method. In China, he tried printing with wooden blocks. Here, man had paper, but no alphabet. The result? Too many blocks. About that same time in Europe, man started working on an invention that would change the course of history. He took his ABCs and cast them in metal, applied the principle of the wine press, and invented movable type and printing. Man had done it again. It was as simple as ABC. This plus that new material, paper, made books plentiful and cheap. To get news faster, newspapers appeared everywhere, so more and more people learned to read. Knowledge was growing in leaps and bounds. By the 19th century, the printed message was blanketing the earth. Civilization was spreading. The world was shrinking. But man still wasn't getting his messages fast enough.
Extra! Extra! Read all about last month's big accident!
Old news was almost worse than no news at all. But man didn't have to worry long, because this was the year he invented the telegraph. Man could now get instant messages. Soon he was sending them coast to coast, bringing New York and San Francisco closer together. Later, a telegraph cable was laid across the Atlantic. Man was really making progress. You can imagine how much the Earth shrunk that day. Within a few years, telegrams were circling the globe. Then came the telephone.
On vous appelle de Paris.
Demandeur, parlez.
And the world became even smaller. But still, man was not satisfied. His messages were limited by a wire. As the 20th century dawned, he got rid of it. Man had invented the radio and started communicating through space. Nothing could stop man now, and nothing did. The electronic age was here, and the Earth kept shrinking, bringing man closer and closer together. Yes, man is surrounded by wonderful tools for communicating. But it's not only the tools that are important. It's really how man uses these tools to pass along ideas that will benefit mankind. Ideas that keep him from returning to the cave. Do you get the message, man?
Ugh!
Good. So use your imagination, man, to lead you into the exciting world of tomorrow.
We confirm two. Guide me.
And as you search for your future, you